I am Emmanuel Peprah. I am an assistant professor at NYU School of Global Public Health, and I am also director of implementation science for global health. I started out in the field of genetics, but in terms of the translation of genetics as a field to actually helping individuals in terms of public health, it's a longer term in terms of medical science. Whereas in public health, that translation is instantaneous. So that was sort of my aha moment in terms of I wanted to impact the lives of individuals basically instantaneously. NYU's mission is to transform the public health paradigm. And in fact, that mission is invigorating to me. So in terms of transforming the public health paradigm, you have to think about new approaches to solving many of the problems that we have. Right now, we are at the cusp of several problems, including climate change. There are several conflicts around the globe. There's migration issues. All of these problems have to be solved by thinking about these from a different perspective, thinking about it from not only from a research, leadership, and practice perspective. These are all within the mission of the school. This is what my research is focused on, and this is why I feel that this school in particular lends me the opportunity to do the work that I'm doing here. From a global perspective, you have that ability to work with other organizations. From a local perspective, you have the New York city government, who has one of the oldest public health institutions that has been doing work in the 5 boroughs of New York City. So from both a global perspective and a local perspective, no matter what type of research or work you want to do, you can do it here. Within the School of Global Public Health, I run the IC Lab. At the IC Lab, we try and understand what, why, and how evidence-based interventions are adopted and maintained by some groups and not maintained by others. The areas of focus within my lab are sickle cell disease, HIV/AIDS, and obstetric hemorrhage. I think it's very important that we give students practical experience before they walk out the door. And so whether they're here for, let's say, 2 years for their MPH program, or 3 to 4 or 5 years for their terminal degree, whether it's their PhD program or the DRPH program, I think they have to have that relevant experience. In terms of the experience that they obtain from me, we do a lot of data analysis and actual hands-on experience in terms of actual literature review in my lab. So for example, one of the work that we've done in my lab has focused around sickle cell disease, and one example is the data that we've analyzed around the National Health Interview Survey, which has been looking at sickle cell disease in the United States and looking at sort of the proportions of individuals that have sickle cell disease, what their outcome has been, and this is a national representative sample of data that has been collected. From that, we did the data analysis, and then our students actually presented that data at the American Society of Hematology meeting. Once you have that experience analyzing data, you can apply for jobs within departments of public health, which many of my students have done. You can apply for careers within other agencies, whether it's federal agencies, which I have some students now that are at the National Institutes of Health. Some students choose to go on to obtain terminal degrees within other schools. So there are a whole host of other positions that you can go to beyond obtaining those skill sets. And then there are also, in fact, private companies that now hire individuals to do data analysis in terms of having those skill sets. So once you have that specific skill set of being able to analyze that data, whether it is from a large data set that we did for the NHIS data set, or doing systematic reviews, those skill sets are attractive to many companies. We have a very enthusiastic student body, and we would not be able to accomplish half the things that we do within this school unless our student body was so enthusiastic. So that's what really makes it worthwhile in terms of the classes that I teach, in terms of the lab that I lead. So I think that's something that cannot be understated. I really want to encourage individuals to come, and I think that you will experience that in firsthand, because that's something that you cannot really communicate in a flyer or anything else, but the student body and the alumni here is just top notch.